Hi everyone and welcome to another obscure Asian story. Worried about TikTok getting banned in the US? It's not just America tightening its grip on social media. In Vietnam, the government is stepping up control. On May 21st, the Ministry of Information and Communications ordered telecom providers to block access to Telegram. The reason? Officials say Telegram hasn't cooperated in criminal investigations. Providers were told to restrict access and report back by June 2nd. This move follows police reports claiming that nearly 70% of the 9,600 Vietnamese Telegram groups are tied to illegal activities, ranging from fraud and drug trafficking to even suspected terrorism. Authorities also accuse Telegram of letting opposition groups spread anti-government content through the app. Telegram responded with surprise, saying it has followed Vietnam's legal requests and is currently reviewing a new regulatory notice due by May 27. But according to officials, the core issue is Telegram's refusal to hand over user data during investigations. State media and law enforcement have long warned about scams and data breaches on the platform. As of Friday, Telegram was still accessible in Vietnam, but the bigger picture shows a steady push by the country's communist government to tighten media control. Platforms like Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok have already faced pressure to delete what the authorities call toxic content. Telegram isn't new to controversy either. With close to 1 billion users worldwide, the platform has faced criticism over its stance on privacy and compliance, including a brief incident last year when its founder, Pavel Durov, was detained in France. Much of this crackdown traces back to a law called Decree 147. Announced on Christmas Day 2024, the decree gives Vietnam sweeping powers over online activity. It requires tech companies to store user data within Vietnam's borders, provide that data to authorities upon request, and take down so-called illegal content within 24 hours. Social media users now also have to verify their identity using a phone number or national ID card. In short, Vietnam is following the playbook of stricter internet control, one that could shape the future of how global platforms operate in the region. Even before Decree 147 came into effect, TikTok was already in hot water in Vietnam. Back in May, the government launched a detailed inspection of the platform. The results weren't good. Authorities say TikTok has broken multiple Vietnamese laws and are now demanding major changes. One of the main concerns is oversight. While TikTok has an office and a registered company in Vietnam, officials found that the app is fully managed by TikTok Singapore. That's no longer acceptable. Vietnam now wants TikTok Vietnam to take full responsibility for its content and for TikTok Shop operations within the country. Political ads that challenge the government are banned, and TikTok is being told to update its community guidelines to match Vietnamese legal standards. When it comes to protecting children, the government is laying down clear rules. TikTok must verify users' ages, delete any accounts from children under 13, and limit how minors under 18 use the app. Children can't earn money on the platform, and TikTok has to blur their faces, add age warnings, and restrict inappropriate content. A separate kid-friendly version of TikTok is also being demanded just for Vietnam. On top of that, content moderation needs an overhaul. The platform is required to boost its censorship tools, hire more human moderators, and work closely with local media on copyright protection. For TikTok Shop, stricter rules are also coming. The company must share seller information with authorities, take down banned products within 24 hours, and block repeat offenders. Automated filters and keyword-based detection systems are expected to help enforce these changes. These demands have been submitted to several ministries. In response, TikTok Vietnam admitted that the demands are large and complex, but said they're working with government agencies to find solutions. Some changes are already in motion, while others will take time. Much of this crackdown is being driven by Decree 147. It gives the government sweeping control over online platforms like Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Minors under 16 can no longer use social media unless their parents register and supervise the account. Gaming for under 18s is restricted to a maximum of 3 hours a day, with sessions capped at 1 hour. Platforms must also take down offensive content within 24 hours, limit the sharing of unofficial news, and ensure only verified users can live stream. Critics and human rights groups are raising alarms. They argue that these rules will increase censorship and put dissidents at greater risk in Vietnam's one-party state. The decree's broad scope and tight compliance deadline set for late March mean that every major platform must act fast or face consequences. In short, Vietnam is reshaping the rules of the internet within its borders, and TikTok was just the beginning. Vietnam's new Decree 147 gives tech companies just 75 days to comply, or risks being blocked in the country. But it's not just companies under pressure. Everyday users can now be punished for broad violations, including criticizing the government, something authorities see as a threat to national security. This law could impact millions. Critics say it's a major blow to digital freedom, especially for social e-commerce creators who depend on live streams to make a living. The decree builds on Vietnam's 2018 cybersecurity law, which had already drawn criticism from the US, the EU, and human rights groups for adopting China-style censorship. Organizations like Human Rights Watch warn the new law will worsen online censorship, expose anonymous critics, and pressure users into self-censorship in Vietnam's one-party state. The international reaction has been swift. As Vietnam becomes more important in global supply chains and foreign investors shift away from China, many are now questioning whether shrinking civil space could impact the country's long-term stability. Human rights advocates are calling for the repeal of the decree, labeling it draconian and a serious threat to free speech. Activists warn that the vague definition of illegal content could lead to arbitrary arrests and fear-driven silence. Groups like the 88 Project and Human Rights Watch believe the decree is meant to expand state surveillance and silence critics. Many activists and independent journalists are already behind bars or living in exile, and the crackdown is real. Authorities have begun investigating users just for following pages labeled as anti-state. The Vietnamese government, however, says these new rules will improve cybersecurity and level the playing field for local tech firms competing with global giants. In one government presentation, social media apps like YouTube and Snapchat were compared to recreational drugs, portrayed as addictive pills threatening national stability. Still, the impact is being felt. High-profile arrests have already happened, including blogger Duong Van Thai, who was sentenced to 12 years, and journalist Huy Duc, known for its critical reporting. According to Decision Lab, 92% of Vietnamese internet users are on Facebook or the local app Zalo, so the stakes are high. Yet for major players like Meta, Google, or TikTok, these changes won't mean much. They've already been requiring phone number verification for years. The uncertainty lies with smaller foreign platforms, especially those without local offices or partnerships. These apps have often continued operating despite Vietnam's previous cybersecurity laws. Enforcement could be uneven. For now, users only need to link their accounts to a phone number, not a national ID. And since Vietnam doesn't limit how many SIM cards someone can buy, it's still possible to recreate anonymous or trash accounts using disposable numbers. But make no mistake, Vietnam's broader goal is clear. The trend points to a future with less online freedom and more government surveillance. For now, the internet in Vietnam remains accessible, but the space for open dialogue is rapidly shrinking. I hope you enjoyed this video. See you next time, and thanks for watching!